How do you know if you're on target? If you're comfortable with Jim and the timing is right, approach him after the meeting and test your thoughts. If you're not comfortable with Jim, practice using another situation with someone else and test your thoughts. The more you practice and get feedback, the more comfortable you'll become in the shoes of others. Social awareness strategy number 16. Seek the whole picture. Since we see ourselves through our own rose-colored glasses, chances are we're seeing only part of the picture. If you had the opportunity, would you be willing to see yourself through the eyes of those who know you best? Looking outward and seeking this feedback are key to social awareness because this gives us the chance to see how others view us, to see the whole picture. Taking advantage of this opportunity requires courage and strength to invite your fans, as well as your critics, to get down to the nitty-gritty and honestly share their perceptions of you. What if they're wrong? What if they're harsh? What if they're right? Regardless of the answers, their perceptions matter because others' opinions of you influence you and your life. For example, if people think you're passive in meetings when you simply need time to think before speaking, their perceptions begin to shape what opportunities are offered to you. Soon your boss is passing you over for chairing a committee because you're perceived as passive instead of thoughtful. The best method for seeing how others perceive you is simple and powerful. For matters of EQ, you can send a 360-degree survey that asks you and other people questions about your self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management skills. The result is a complete picture of your own and others' perceptions. Believe it or not, what others say about you is usually more accurate than what you think about yourself. Nonetheless, whatever these perceptions are, becoming aware is important so you know how they will shape you. Muster some of that strength and gather other people to help you out in understanding yourself a bit more through their eyes. Other than becoming a fly on the wall or videotaping yourself, this is what it takes to see yourself in action through the eyes of others. Social awareness strategy number 17. Catch the mood of the room. Once you've mastered reading the cues and emotions of other people, you're ready to read an entire room. It may sound daunting, but it's what you've already learned about social awareness, just on a larger scale. Essentially, there are two ways to pick up the mood of an entire room. First, you can rely solely on your gut instincts. Emotions are contagious, meaning they spread from one or two people until there's a palpable and collective mood that you'll feel at some level. For example, imagine walking into a room of 125 entrepreneurs who are networking and sharing their ideas. It's pretty likely that there would be excitement and positive energy there, and it wouldn't take long to become aware of it. You'd hear their voice levels and tones and see the focused and interested posture and body language. Now imagine walking into a room of 125 people waiting to be chosen for jury duty. The room is quiet. People are trying to distract themselves with reading material, music, and anything else to pass the time. Even though it's our civic duty to attend, hardly anyone wants to be there. The two moods are like night and day. Here's how you can catch the mood of the room. When you enter the room, scan it and notice whether you feel and see energy or quiet, subdued calm. Take notice of how people are arranging themselves, alone or in groups. Are they talking and moving their hands? Are some more animated than others? What is your gut telling you about them? Another way to read the mood of the room is to bring along a more experienced guide, much like you would on an African safari. Your guide should be a socially aware expert, willing to show you the ropes when it comes to tapping into your instincts and picking up the room's mood. Shadow your guide and listen to what he feels and sees. Ask what he senses and what clues gave the mood away. Eventually, you should be the one to take the lead. Size up the room and share and compare your thoughts with your guide. Through this exercise, you will soon pick up on observations like your guide does, in time doing so on your own. Human nature and behavior may not be that far from what happens on the open African savanna. The sooner you can hone your ability to spot safety, concern, or shifts in moods in group settings, the more skilled you will be in maneuvering through the social wilds of your life. Chapter 8. Relationship Management Strategies. Most people have a spring in their step and put their best foot forward when they're in a new relationship, work or otherwise. But they stumble and lose their footing trying to maintain relationships over the long term. Reality soon sets in that the honeymoon phase is officially over. The truth is, all relationships take work, even the great ones that seem effortless. We've all heard this, but do we really get it? Working on a relationship takes time, effort, and know-how. The know-how is emotional intelligence. If you want a relationship that has staying power and grows over time, and in which your needs and the other person's needs are satisfied, the final EQ skill, relationship management, is just what the doctor ordered. Thankfully, these relationship management skills can be learned, and they tap into the 3 other EQ skills that you're familiar with: self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness. You use your self-awareness skills to notice your feelings and judge if your needs are being satisfied. You use your self-management skills to express your feelings and act accordingly to benefit the connection. Finally, you use your social awareness skills to better understand the other person's needs and feelings. In the end, no man is an island. Relationships are an essential and fulfilling part of life. Since you are half of any relationship, you have half of the responsibility of deepening these connections. The following 17 strategies will help you work on what's critical to making relationships work. Relationship Management Strategies. 1. Be open and be curious. 2. Enhance your natural communication style. 3. Avoid giving mixed signals. 4. Remember the little things that pack a punch. 5. Take feedback well. 6. Build trust. 7. Have an open door policy. 8. Only get mad on purpose. 9. Don't avoid the inevitable. 10. Acknowledge the other person's feelings. 11. Compliment the person's emotions or situation. 12. When you care, show it. 13. Explain your decisions. Don't just make them. 14. Make your feedback direct and constructive. 15. Align your intention with your impact. 16. Offer a fix-it statement during a broken conversation. 17. Tackle a tough conversation. Relationship management strategy number 1. Be open and be curious. We can imagine a few listeners thinking, "Oh, brother, I have to be open and curious with people at work? Can I just work on my projects and what I was hired to do, minus the touchy-feely stuff?" Actually, establishing, building, and maintaining relationships are all part of your job, even if you work with just one other person. Maintaining relationships may not be on your job description and may not have even been discussed. But for you to be successful, being open and curious is absolutely, unequivocally part of your job. Let's explore what open means in terms of relationship management. Being open means sharing information about yourself with others. You can use your self-management skills to choose how open you are and what you share, but know that there's a benefit to opening up that may help you with your choices. When people know about you, there's less room for them to misinterpret you. For example, if you're particularly sensitive about showing up 5 minutes early to meetings and get annoyed when people stroll in at the very beginning of the meeting or even a little late, some people might interpret you as being uptight and rigid. If you shared with these same people that you were in the Marines for the first years of your career, your coworkers would understand and maybe even appreciate your sense of timing and courtesy. Who knows? Your punctuality might even rub off. Being an open book on your end isn't the whole story with managing a relationship. You also need to be interested in the other person's story as well. In other words, you need to be curious. The more you show interest in and learn about the other person, the better shot you have at meeting his or her needs and not misinterpreting them. When you ask questions, draw from your social awareness skills to choose an appropriate setting and time. Be inquisitive in your tone, similar to how Santa Claus asks a child what he'd like for Christmas. The opposite tone is judgmental. Think of someone who's ever asked you a question like, "Why on earth did you buy a motorcycle?" Or, "You majored in philosophy. What did you plan to do with that?" When you ask questions and this person opens up, you will not only learn information that will help you manage the relationship, but the other person will also appreciate the interest shown in him or her. If you're beginning a new relationship, in an established one, or even if you're in a rough patch, take a few minutes out of your day to identify a few relationships that need some attention, and make time to be open and curious with these people. Relationship management strategy number 2. Enhance your natural communication style. Whether it's putting your 2 cents in when others are talking to you or shying away from a disagreement, your natural communication style shapes your relationships. Now you have the opportunity to use your self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness skills to shape your natural style. At the top of a page in a journal, describe what your natural style is. You can call it whatever you would like. Think about how your friends, family, and colleagues experience your style. Is it direct, indirect, comfortable, serious, entertaining, discreet, controlled, chatty, intense, curious, cool, intrusive? You name it because you've likely heard about it more than once. On the left side of the paper, jot down the upsides of your natural style. These are the things people appreciate about how you interact with them. On the right side, list the downsides or things that have created confusion, weird reactions, or trouble. Once your list is complete, choose 3 upsides that you can use more to improve your communication. Next, choose 3 downsides and think about ways you can either eliminate, downplay, or improve them. Be honest with yourself about what you will or won't do. If you need help figuring out what will give you the biggest results, just ask your friends, co-workers, and family for their suggestions. Making your plan public will also build in accountability that can help you make a lasting improvement in your relationships. Relationship management strategy number 3. Avoid giving mixed signals. We all rely on stoplights to safely direct us through intersections dozens of times each week. When the stoplights aren't working and the lights either blink to proceed with caution or are out altogether, the intersection transforms into an every man for himself situation. People are confused, and when it's their turn to cross, they gingerly look all ways before moving ahead. With functioning stoplights, we have confidence in the system because it's clear what we do: stop on red and go on green. It's the same for signals that we send to the people in our relationships. Feelings express truth, and they have a way of rising to the surface through our reactions and body language despite the words we choose. Telling your staff in a muted voice and frowning face that they did a great job on the product launch doesn't match up. The words and the body language are mixed. People trust what they see over what they hear. Even if you're a good self-manager, your emotions rise to the surface. You experience many emotions every day, and your brain can't sort through every single one. When you talk with someone, you may be saying one thing that's on your mind as your body reacts to an emotion you experienced minutes ago. You confuse and frustrate others when you say one thing and your body or tone say another. Over time, this confusion will cause communication issues that will affect your relationships. To resolve the mixed signal issue, use your self-awareness skills to identify your emotions, and use your self-management skills to decide which feelings to express and how to express them. Sometimes it might not be appropriate to match your signals. Let's say you become angry in a meeting and can't really show your emotion at that moment. Just put your anger on the back burner for the moment, but don't disregard the feeling forever. Choose a time when you can express your anger when it doesn't work against you, but instead produces the most positive results. If your emotion is strong enough and you can't put off expressing it, your best bet is to explain what's happening. That is, if I seem distracted, it's because I can't stop worrying about a phone call that went awry this morning. For the next month, pay close attention to matching your tone and body language to what you are really trying to say. Take mental note of those moments when you tell someone that you're feeling fine, but your body, tone, or demeanor is sending drastically different signals. When you catch yourself sending a mixed signal, readjust to match it or explain it. Relationship management strategy number 4. Remember the little things that pack a punch. It's pretty obvious on any news channel, reality show, sitcom, or newspaper that today's media feed off the idea that courtesy appears to be diminishing in modern society. With the decline of good manners, there are fewer expressions of appreciation. These days, in both personal and work-related relationships, there are far too few pleases, thank yous, and I'm sorries being expressed. Most workers will say that they never get thanked for their contributions at work, but yet will agree that hearing thank you, please, or even I'm sorry can have a positive impact on morale. Think about how often you really say thank you, please, or I'm sorry when it is needed. If you don't use them often, it could be due to lack of time or habit, or maybe even a bruised ego. Begin to make a habit of incorporating more of these phrases into your relationships. Or rather, please make it a habit to use more of these phrases during your day. Thank you. Relationship management strategy number 5. Take feedback well. Feedback is a unique gift. It's meant to help us improve in ways that we perhaps cannot see on our own. Since you never know exactly what you're going to receive, however, feedback is sometimes like opening up a present and looking inside to find a pair of tiger-striped socks with red sequins. The element of surprise can catch us off guard, so we need to use our self-awareness skills to prepare ourselves for that moment. What do I feel when I'm on the spot and surprised? How do I show it? With that awareness, move on to your self-management skills. What response should I choose? To help you receive feedback well, let's break it down. First, consider the source of your feedback. This person probably has a relevant perspective. He or she knows you and has seen your performance and has an interest in seeing you improve. As you receive feedback, turn on your social awareness skills to listen and really hear what is being said. Ask clarifying questions and ask for examples to better understand the person's perspective. Whether you agree with what was said or not, thank the person for his or her willingness to share, because it takes almost as much grace to give feedback as it does to receive it. After you receive the feedback, use your self-management skills to decide your next steps. Don't feel pressured to rush into action. Time can help you absorb the underlying point, sort out your feelings and thoughts, and help you to decide what to do about the feedback. Remember the emotion versus reason list? Receiving feedback is probably the hardest part of the process. Once you decide what to do with the feedback, follow up with plans. Actually making adjustments will show the person who gave you feedback that you value his or her comments. Take the person's feedback seriously and try what he or she suggested. There may be no better way to solidify your relationship with him or her. Relationship management strategy number 6. Build trust. Have you ever been asked to practice trust? The exercise looks like this. You have a partner and you stand about 5 feet in front of the person with your back facing him. You close your eyes and on a count of 3, you fall backward toward the person so that he can catch you. When you're caught, everyone enjoys a laugh and is thankful neither person wiped out. If only trust were a matter of good, strong arms and steady balance. An unknown author said, "Trust is a peculiar resource. It is built rather than depleted by use." Trust is something that takes time to build, can be lost in seconds, and may be our most important and most difficult objective in managing our relationships. How is trust built? Open communication, willingness to share, consistency in words, action, and behavior over time, and reliability in following through on the agreements of the relationship, just to name a few examples. It's ironic that, for most relationships, a certain level of trust needs to be present in order for you to develop trust. To build trust, use your self-awareness and self-management skills to be the first to lay some of yourself on the line and share something about you. Remember, you should share parts of yourself at a time. Don't feel like you have to be a complete open book up front. To manage your relationships, you need to manage your trust of others, and their trust level of you is critical to deepening your connection with others. Cultivating relationships and building trust take time. Identify the relationships in your life that need more trust, and use your self-awareness skills to ask yourself what is missing. Use your social awareness skills to ask the other person what needs to happen to build trust, and listen to the answer. Asking will show you care about the relationship, which will help to build trust and deepen the relationship. Relationship management strategy number 7. Have an open door policy. Here's a quick history lesson that you may remember. The open door policy originated in 1899 when the United States feared it would lose its trading privileges in the East. The United States declared an open door policy allowing all trading nations access to the Chinese market. Access. It's an important word that sums up the open door concept. Access has moved swiftly beyond trading agreements and into the workplace. Today, a true open door policy allows any employee to talk to anyone at any level, fostering upward communication through direct and easy access to everyone below. Ask those around you if you should adopt an open door policy to better manage your relationships. If you need to be more accessible and show people they can have unscheduled, informal conversations with you, then adopting this policy might be right up your alley. Keep in mind you don't have to stretch yourself too thin by being there for everyone at any time. You simply have to communicate your policy and then stick to it. Use your self-awareness skills to identify how the policy works for you and manage yourself to make it work. Ongoing observations of others, also known as social awareness, should help you determine how it's working too. Remember, increasing your accessibility can only improve your relationships. It literally opens the door to communication, even if it's virtual, by email or phone. People will feel valued and respected because of the time you're giving them, and you get the opportunity to learn about others. At the end of the day, the policy is a win for you and a win for others. Relationship management strategy number 8. Only get mad on purpose. Anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, this is not easy. We can thank Greek philosopher Aristotle for those words and enduring insight into managing our emotions and relationships. If you can master this one, consider your EQ journey a success. Anger is an emotion that exists for a reason. Anger is not an emotion to stifle or ignore. If you manage it properly and use it purposefully, you can get results that enhance your relationships. Really. Think of the football coach who gets straight to the point at halftime. His stern feedback grabs his players' attention and focuses them for the second half. The team returns refreshed, refocused, and ready to win. In this case, the coach managed his emotions to motivate others to action. Expressing anger in appropriate ways communicates your strong feelings and reminds people of the gravity of a situation. Expressing anger too much, or at the wrong times, desensitizes people to what you are feeling, making it hard for others to take you seriously. Using a strong emotion like anger to benefit your relationships will take time to master, because hopefully you don't have daily opportunities to practice. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes preparation for this strategy, starting with becoming aware of your anger. Use your self-awareness skills to think about and define your varying degrees of anger, from what annoys you a little to what sends you off the deep end. Write these down and choose words that are specific, and then write examples to explain when you feel this way. Determine when you should show your anger based on the criterion that if it's shared, it will actually improve the relationship somehow. To make your choices, use your social awareness skills to think about the other people involved and their responses. Remember, relationship management is about making choices and acting with the goal of creating an honest, deep connection with others. To do this, you need to be honest with others and with yourself, which sometimes means using anger with a purpose.